use the intuition, use the magic, and there is a lot of magic in this reading for you. Hi, my name's Dee and welcome to Sunchild Tarot. Now this is a general reading for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, North Node, whatever placement that you care to look at. And if you're not familiar with your placements, as ever, there's a link in the description for a free birth chart. Now, and always watch your sun sign and your rising sign. Your rising sign is just, if not more important. Right, so lecture over there. Now, being a general reading rules apply. Roles can be reversed if other people appear in your reading. I could be talking about them and mean you and vice versa. And timing with tarot is hardly absolute. You know, what I'm saying, it isn't necessarily next week. It might be tomorrow. It might be yesterday. You know, but it might also be in about 5 months' time, you know, so it'll happen when it happens, if it's going to happen to you, because these readings either are for you or they're not. Because of the spread, there is a past and a present in the spread. If the past and the present do not fit, then it is not your reading. Go and look at your rising sign or your moon sign. If it does fit, take the whole reading. It's not a spread that's designed to take what resonates and leave the rest. Take it en masse. But what I would like you to do is ask a question prior to the reading. So pause the video if you have to. Take a moment to think about all of the questions that are around you. Be aware of all of them. Focus upon one of them. Focus, because energy in, energy out. You know, you focus on the question and hopefully your reading will answer one of your questions. But this is why I say be aware of all of them, because the cards will answer what they please and not necessarily what you and I think is the most important one. So other than that, there's a link down there for a Facebook group. So you can see these videos that I post, obviously, but also all the astrology videos that I watch, and anything else that I find of interest in this sort of field that I will post from time to time. Yeah. Oh yeah. Press the subscribe button while you're here if you would. I'm a young channel and it really helps. Or the like button will help boost the video. But watch the reading first and then make your mind up on that. So, with no further ado, let me bring up the cards. I'll change cameras. Now, there's a lesson for you at the moment, Scorpio, if you choose to accept it. Because you've got so much going on. You are finishing a period of... Finishing is the wrong word. You are peaking and just coming off the peak of a period of transformation where the world's your oyster at the moment, but I gather that you're feeling quite defensive. Now, you're feeling quite defensive while moving forward and manifesting. We have Four of Pentacles of that defensiveness. You're feeling very strong in your power, you know, very stable base, but there is that element of, if you think of the Rider-Waite, you know, and I wouldn't have necessarily been drawn to that, apart from you still feel that your goal is not entirely within your reach, but it's nearly there, which is true. It is nearly there. We've got the Nine of Wands underlying your current situation, which is like, yeah, it's the wounded warrior, but it's also the last half mile of a marathon. You've nearly got there. We have the Gibbous Moon with you're very close to achieving your goal, and from the Queen of the Moon, the lunar god, the masculine force of the moon, is saying push forward. But being the masculine force of the moon, it's still the moon. There's still use the intuition, use the magic, and there is a lot of magic in this reading for you. So if you're not a magical Scorpio, then this reading might not be for you. It might be, but there does seem to be a huge sense of spirit and energies and magic in all of these cards. Because how you're feeling, we've got angel number 33. You have recognition of your own power, but you also seem to be recognizing that your goal is a little distant. But the reason I'm saying magic as well is here with the Three of Wands. That's a card about your ships coming in, but also those birds seem to be forming a vortex of where you can spring into something entirely new, which figures going from the judgment card here into the world where this, you know, you're peaking in your transformation, and all of a sudden, yes, hi everybody, I'm here. And this is after a period of some solitude. You had had some recognition, but there was a time where you just had to fold in upon yourself. Now, this particular Four of Swords, I've said it on other readings, whether that's a broken stained glass window, it always looks to me like it's something unfolding itself into our dimension from a higher mathematical dimension. Not spiritual, mathematical. I mean, probably the same thing, but you know what I mean. And this is what has really inspired the transformation within you recently. So like I say, you're very, very nearly there, but you are carrying some wounds, even though you are trying to display your strength. This Four of Pentacles here is feeling, let me see if I can move them up so that's a bit more in camera, is feeling incredibly strong, but defensive. Wounded warrior, strong, but maybe a little bit defensive, with good reason. But we also have Astaroth from the Le Carte Infernale. And Astaroth carries a warning of beware of playing the victim, or at least playing the victim's story. Because I don't see a reason for you to be playing the victim or to be feeling defensive down here. But there has certainly been a challenge that you have overcame. A challenge that, because somebody possibly from the past brought something to you, it may have been an offer of love, it may have been an offer of a new path, but they weren't entirely honest with you. They weren't entirely, I mean, even at the time you knew that, hang on a minute, something about this feels a little bit off. I'm not sure this is fair. But I think that you went along with it with reservations, but it seemed to bring around into your life what you had wanted at the time, or at least clarified precisely what it is that you did want. And I think that's more to be the case with this retreating to yourself when you suddenly realise, yeah, now's the time to act, now's the time to get out of here. So there's something that you've left, and that has instigated this transformation that you've been going through. But the world's been appearing a bit confusing while you've been going through this transformation, hasn't it, Scorpio? And there's no wonder. You know, of course it has. You're different, therefore everything you are looking at is different. Although scientists are desperately trying to disprove it, the act of observation changes what you are looking at. So certainly your perceptions affect your act of observation. So if you are changing, your perceptions will be changing. Therefore, it will appear that everything around you is changing because you're not looking at it through the same eyes. That was a mouthful to say all that, wasn't it? But your ships have started to come in. So we've got that another 3 here, which is underlying how you're feeling. I think from the 1-3 to the 2-3s, you've got a lot of energy that you can push forward into the world and push forward into your life. Yes, there's a whole new dream that you can push forward with your life if you are following your intuition, which I believe you will have been doing by the looks of this. And I think you're going to find support in unusual places. And yes, this is the King of Cups with Magnum PI. It's the TV tarot. But I'm really drawn to that helicopter coming in. It's almost like, hang on a minute, who are they and why are they helping? And that's the issue that I'm really getting. Why are they helping? Why are they helping? You know, so there is assistance coming in from a unusual source that actually I think you feel quite good about. With the King of Cups, that element of emotional resolution. You can be a bit too focused though, so whatever this wound is that you're carrying, let it go. It doesn't necessarily need to be there. And I know that you're stressing about am I going to achieve what I'm going to achieve, But I rather feel that the answer is yes, but there is some news, some magical ingredient that has yet to come in just to polish it all off. And there are stormy seas coming for you, so it is a matter of balance. You've got to make sure, you've got to make sure that you are being very, very fair, which I think in this previous situation, the one that you walked away from, fairness was sort of there. Fairness appeared to be there, but the minute that you delve under the covers, it's like, hang on a minute, no, this isn't fair to somebody. Now, I'm not saying it's not fair to you. I think by the looks of things, it was sort of fair to you. It was fairer to you than it was to somebody else, but it was that effect on somebody else that gave you that sort of, icky feeling about it. Let's have a look before I go further into the future, which looks promising. 10 of Cups here. And in the final outcome card, we have, we have the Sun, the 8 of Pentacles, 7 of Swords. This 7 of Swords is very much choosing your battles, choosing what you're going to take with you and choosing what you are going to deny. In the face of this storm that's coming in for you, you can't take everything with you. You know, you just need to take what's necessary. Think about what your emergency survival bag in case of earthquake or forest fire or whatever, you know, your bag with the documents and the MREs and, you know, a couple of water bottles and what have you. You know, credit card, passport, that sort of thing. But if you choose what issues, what aspects, what secrets that you're going to keep and what secrets you're just going to abandon, because we have the Queen of Swords at the bottom here, and this is a choice that you have is coming up for you with those stormy seas. That is how you will make the most progress. So you have, okay, in the distant past, you surged ahead with a new idea previously, and then you found out that, hang on a minute, this isn't all it's cracked up to be. And so you're worried that, again, that's repeated itself in this recent, someone bought you an offer, you had recognition from it, but it wasn't entirely fair. That lesson has repeated itself. So it's almost like there's that feeling of, why am I always burdened with this? Why can I not trust the loyalties of those around me? Why am I always put into the position of need? But I want to point out to you that you were actually helping people. You were well-intentioned here. That's what that Ace of Wands really feels like for me. There was a passion of helping. 6 of Coins. There was the passion of giving, even though the burden was stronger, heavier than what you wanted it to be. So let's have a look what you, like I say, stormy seas coming, but you don't necessarily, you can't see all of it. You've got to be very, very fair and even-handed. But those stormy seas in and of themselves are going to bring happiness. It's, you know, it's just, you're going to be surging ahead with a whole new faith, a whole new identity, a whole new sense of what's right and what's wrong and what, this is awful, what weapons you can use. This is the High Priest, the Pope, the Hierophant. But it's also Cardinal Borgia with a bottle of poison in his hand, as well as his staff, scepter. And I do feel that you can take things in a whole new direction, and you can use or withhold the weapons at your disposal. So this is why I want you to not focus on how you are feeling, how you have been wronged, because I believe that those two situations, the distant past one and the recent one that repeated it, you were supposed to be there. Somehow you have had a positive effect during all of this. And this transformation that you're going through at the minute appears to be your reward for that, if that makes sense. Even though, because from the Oracle of the Heaven and Hell, we have Poyel with Fortune and Fame, Angel Poyel, and on the other side, Gremory with Self-Made Person. Both of them about taking hold of your future and shaping it as you want to be. Angel energy for the reading, the angel of being. My soul rests in the truth that my being is eternal. And like I say, you've got that pushing forward strength of the masculine lunar god with you're very close to achieving your goal. But someone else seems to be telling you to leave it all behind. They are offering you happiness, and they are offering distant shores. You know, they're saying, right, come this way, you'll get out of all that old stuff. I don't know whether that's good or bad. To be honest, with the Ten of Cups here and the Ten of Cups here, I feel like this is something that you will probably go, all right then, yeah, give it a go. But this is independent of your transformation. Remember this. Your transformation is a far more internal than that. So yeah, you're going to be I think whatever that offer of come away with me, come try this new job, place, area, field of study, whatever, new thing, come and try this new thing, happiness lies this way. I think you're going to find, yeah, there is, because there's a lot of illusions in this new place, but as you go to examine them, all they do is get more and more fascinating, and you become more and more committed to this new path. And from this new path, oh, now that's interesting. From this new path, you are entering into a manifesting stage. So yes, by the looks of it, take this offer of happiness in a new thing, but bear in mind that your transformation is internal as well as your life transforming because you take this offer of the new thing. But also, don't be holding a grudge or feeling wounded because of what has happened before, because all of that was practice and this is your reward. You were doing something good in both of these two situations. I've no idea what. You've got no idea what, probably. But, you know, when we all get to the other side and you get back to look in your life, you'll go, that's what that was about. And you're probably not going to know until then. But you are entering into a time of manifestation, a time where all the planets are behind you. This Seven of Coins. But what I'm really drawn to is that it's representing the 7 ancient planets. You know, Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn. The 7 planets working at the right time when you initiate that action to create. And that will bring change. Death card. With the 9 of Pentacles, that's been a very popular card in this month's readings. And Wands. And the Knight of Wands. So surging ahead forward with a good harvest, with a good setup, with your emotions under control, but ready to consume's the wrong word. Ready to dive into at a moment's notice and then dive back out of them again while you go and do something more sensible and then go back into them when you need to. But there is change coming, change for the better. Even though you may be mentally conflicted by it, it's almost like, right, if you carry that wound or I want to say, don't take this offer of come to this new thing. Yeah, there will be mental conflicts. If you surrender to that mental conflict, that's where certain things are going to shatter around you and you will be shown what path you are supposed to be on. You know, so both of these potential futures here, they're going to end up at the same place, but you can go the easy way where you're really enjoying it because you're accepting it along the way and enjoying the fun, Or you can be really, really stressed out about it and have that shattering of stuff around you be a little more traumatic, but you're going to end up in the same place. And that place is a good place. You know, we've got the sun card, the happy, happy, joy, joy card. And I think this particular sun card, we've got two fairies under the light of the sun. Looks like they're getting married because they're stood in a circle while scattering flowers under the light of the sun. And bear in mind, the sun can often mean abundance, fertility, growth. You know, so there is a harmony and a task coming for you, which you are going to be doing whether you like it or not. So you may as well embrace it and welcome it with open arms. Now, that's all of the cards except here, Yesod, root, connection. Yesod is the 9th emanation of the Tree of Life, the 9th Sephiroth. It is what connects the will and the whims of the divine down into the real world, into the kingdom, into Malkut. You are building new connections. You are building a new world for yourself at the moment. Let this new person, maybe that's why. Let this new person in. But to let this new person in, you have to drop whatever that wound is. And what that wound being about, hang on a minute, people have offered me wonderful things twice before, and it's always gone distastefully wrong. And I think that's the way I'd want to describe those feelings. It's like, it's not gone wrong. It's just not been right. You know, it's been lovely, but not right. You know, but also you are anchoring higher self energies into the real world with this transformation, with taking advantage of the stormy seas and the shattering and the, whether this is a love offer or this offer of the new that comes to you, you are anchoring more divine energies into the real world, into your life and into your physical incarnation at the moment, which I would say is pretty much a win-win situation. However, it's going to happen. So you can either greet it with a smile or still feel wounded and hard done to, and then the whole journey will be a lot more traumatic. So you might as well be happy about it, eh? Because you ain't got a great deal of choice. If this reading is for you, obviously. So if this means anything to you, Scorpio, please do comment down below. See what I said earlier about the like and subscribe buttons, both really help. Now your next reading will be the full moon reading coming out. There'll be some other readings coming out throughout the month, time willing as well. I've got a few other ideas of stuff I want to look at. So in the meantime, enjoy your transformation. I mean, I remember a few readings ago, Scorpio, I kept saying, oi, Scorpio, your sign is about transformation. Transform already. Well done. You're well underway. Cheers.